Are you among the countless millions of America burdened with student loan debt? Are you a dentist that has hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt? If so, you're not alone. This is a major issue. There's been a major amount of media coverage around it, and it's something that a lot of people don't necessarily know how to do, or they don't have the confidence they're actually doing the best strategy. Most people, when it comes to paying back their student loans, specifically dentists, just do what's most best in front of them, or they think that it's best for them. But today, you're going to learn all of the different options available for paying back your student loans. In addition to that, you're also going to be able to look and analyze the actual numbers behind each strategy. So for example, if I choose to do X strategy, what is the number outcome? And when we compare it to this other strategy, which one is best? And that will be a question that you'll have to answer as a dentist in your own situation, in your own town, with your own family. What are you actually looking for? But now you're going to have all of the options presented to you, and you're going to have the numbers behind them. It's important to note that dentists are unique because you have a massive amount of debt and also a massive amount of earning potential. Most dentists make better money than most other professions. That's not a mystery to you. You know this because you're a dentist. However, because of those two facts, there are some unique situations that are applicable to dentists that might not be available to other people. So it's important to know that there are other options available to you because of your unique situation. As we dive into this, we're going to look at the pros and cons, we're going to evaluate the numbers, and we're going to help you determine what is the best way for you, an American dentist, to pay off their student loan debt. Let's jump in. So, option number one is to do the conventional or traditional way of repayment. The conventional way is to either pay it off in 10 or 25 years. You'll make a monthly payment over that 10-year or 25-year period. When you complete that time frame, you're out of debt. If you choose the 10-year time frame, it will require more cash flow up front, more monthly payment, but you get to save on interest on the long term. If you pay with the 25-year method, you have a smaller monthly payment, but you're going to pay more interest over time. The pros of this is this gets into the system of just set it and forget it. I know that my monthly payment's coming out and it just goes out. That can be helpful for some people. The cons is that sometimes people might not have the cash flow to make that payment, or there could have been another option. Specifically, that dollar that you're putting into the loan lost its opportunity to do something else for you. So that's an opportunity cost that needs to be calculated, and it's gone from you. So that's a con of the traditional method, but that is a method, and that's a method that most people choose. The second strategy that you can implement is refinance. Refinancing is where you're going to go from a government-sponsored loan into a private bank-type loan. There are many options. There's options all online, and it's something that you have to evaluate mathematically, because if your government loan is at 4%, and they're going to refinance you into 5%, that doesn't make sense. You're going to want to stick with the government loan. However, if your government loan is at 7%, which I had someone just the other day at 7% that I was talking to, and you can refinance to 4.5%, that can make sense. You're going to save money on interest. Refinancing is very close to the traditional, where once you refinance, you're into a locked monthly payment over a set time frame, which again could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So the refinancing pros, the pros of refinancing is you can save money by reducing the interest. The cons are exactly the same thing as the traditional method. When I pay $1 into it, I've lost the opportunity for it to do something else. The third strategy for repayment is the super paydown strategy. And this is particularly popular amongst dentists, where you take extra cash flow, extra monthly income, and you pay down your loan at a faster rate. So instead of it just being a 10-year pay down, you're paying it down in 7 or 5, or I've even heard people do it in 3 years, where they get their entire loan paid off in 3 years. This method likely will produce one of the lower interest outputs out of any of the other strategies, specifically the other two that we've already mentioned, the conventional and the refinance strategy. However, it does require a large amount of monthly payments each month. Like, it's not something that just goes away and happens on its own. It does require a lot of cash flow to do it. So this may cause you to put off things like buying a home, having children, going on vacation. And the warning I put out to you, just as a warning, that lifestyle can become addictive. And you might not be thinking, how on earth could that lifestyle become addictive? It can become addictive because you can get addicted to being scared to spend money. And I know you're not spending money in a typical manner here, but it can become a scarcity type mindset. And there's an article, and I did another video on this very subject a few weeks ago on the power or the danger of living on rice and beans and not choosing to live today. Just be aware that that can happen, but it will save you a lot of interest on your loans over the long haul. So the pros of the super pay down: you're going to be out of debt faster, you're going to save on interest. The cons is you're dumping a large amount of money, which puts a strain on your cash flow on a monthly basis to pay it off faster. And again, just like the other two that we've mentioned, once those dollars go to the loan, you've lost the opportunity to grow them for yourself. So could you have grown them bigger than your loans? That's the question. A lot of dentists are attracted to the super pay down because of their high income. It can be a great strategy, but let's look at a few others. The next one is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This is strategy number 4. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program allows both associate dentists and business owner dentists to utilize the nonprofit benefit to be in a program that will allow them to receive forgiveness on their loans while keeping their payment relatively low. To qualify for public service loan forgiveness, you have to be working in a qualified nonprofit or a 501c3 for at least 30 hours a week. So you could be working at a government office, you could be working in a university or education setting, you could be working in a hospital type setting. These are the typical type nonprofits. You also could be working at a nonprofit dental office. If you're a business owner and wish to do this, it's a little harder, but it can be done. You can establish a nonprofit separate from your business and work in that for 30 hours a week and obtain the qualifications for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. When you reach the end of the 10-year program, whatever balance you have left on your loans is forgiven, and there is no taxation with it. It's a great program, but it's not a good fit for a lot of dentists. If it is a good fit for you, do it, perform it, execute it. It's extraordinary for you and can be a big benefit. But for a lot of people, they don't want to start a nonprofit, or they don't want to work 30 hours a week at a nonprofit or in a nonprofit that they own, and that kind of puts it off as not as appealing or not actually attainable for a lot of dentists. But knowing that it exists, for those of you that want to do this path, it's an extraordinary tool. The last strategy for repaying your student loans is the 5th strategy, which is income-driven repayment. You probably have heard of these, but the misconception around income-driven repayment is that it is for low-income earning Americans only. That is an incorrect assumption. High-income earning Americans, middle-income earning Americans, and low-income earning Americans can take part in and benefit from income-driven repayment. There are 5 different income-driven repayment programs. I think there's a 6th now that just got passed called the SAVE program. And these programs have gotten incrementally better. They started in the 90s under the President Clinton's administration, and the most latest one from President Biden is called the SAVE program. The SAVE program enables borrowers, which is the best one to be in. You can have it analyzed. We can help you analyze which program is best, but the SAVE one is most likely going to be the best, so that's the one I'm going to address. The SAVE program will allow you flexibility over your monthly payment. So instead of your monthly payment being locked in at $2,500 a month or $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month, your monthly payment is probably, for the business owners on this call, is probably going to be in the $0 to $500 range. So most probably going to be in the $300 range. So you've reduced how much you have to pay. Now, people are like, well, why would I reduce how am I going to get out of debt if I'm taking my payment to $300? The benefit of this program is, like the Public Service Loan Forgiveness program, you also receive forgiveness in the SAVE program. In all income-driven repayment programs, there's forgiveness attached when you complete the end of the program. Meaning, you can have a low monthly payment, reach the end of the program with a balance, and that balance will be forgiven to you. Will be forgiven. Unlike the public service loan forgiveness program, this program, you will be taxed on that dollar amount. So for example, if you had $300,000 of student loan debt and your loan was forgiven at the completion of the SAVE program, you're going to receive a 1099 for $300,000 and you have to pay taxes on it. You will save money by doing it this way, and you'll be able to maximize your dollar today and in the future. Here's the power of income-driven repayment. Is if your payment was going to be $3,000, but now it's $300, you have $2,700 of freed up cash flow. That $2,700 of freed up cash flow can be put to work for you. So you can pay yourself those dollars instead. So you can grow a nest egg alongside your repayment, your student loan repayment process. And when you reach the end of the program, you're going to get out of debt and have built a substantial nest egg all along the way. No other program enables you to do that. The super pay down can get close because you could pay off your student loans and then take that same amount you were paying and start growing it for yourself. But it still doesn't win when you compare it to this program. Income-driven repayment offers you the most flexibility, allows you backstops to prevent if rules change or things turn around or life experiences change or happen, just like life. That's life. Black swan events are always occurring. Income-driven repayment gives you the flexibility to survive those, and if it works out well, you will save a substantial amount of money on your student loans out of pocket cost and on the monthly payment, and you will build a substantial nest egg all along the way. The cons of the income-driven repayment is that you are going to be in debt for 20 to 25 years. But if you can learn that my nest egg or my growth is making me hundreds of thousands to millions more, then it's going to be okay, and you can stay in debt for 20 to 25 years. So those are the 5 programs: the conventional or the traditional, the refinance, the super paydown, public service loan forgiveness, and income-driven repayment, specifically the SAVE program. It's important to note for public service loan forgiveness and the income-driven payment programs, it's going to be best to have a student loan professional help you access and strategically maximize those programs for you. There are a variety of companies around the country. We love Student Loan Tutor. That's who we utilize. We think they're great at it. They will help you keep your payment low, help you deal with your servicer, and help you maximize the program. Now, let's actually analyze numbers, not just talking about the different strategies, but what do the numbers tell us around the best way to pay off our student loans. To do this, we're going to be looking at a dentist, which is the average dentist has $293,000 of student loan debt. This dentist has plenty of money to do the super pay down. It has plenty of money to do the conventional method, refinance, has the cash flow to do it all. They just need to determine which strategy is going to be best for them. In addition, if you pay off a loan faster, or if there's extra dollars in comparison to the conventional method that are available. So for example, if we had a $2,500 a month payment and we're able to drop that payment down to $300, we're going to take the difference between those two and grow it in an account that grows at 4%. Additionally, like with the super pay down, when you paid off faster, we're going to take what you were paying and we're going to put it into an account that's growing at 4%. And that way we can compare apples to apples to see which strategy is going to create the biggest nest egg, which strategy is going to allow you to get out of debt fastest, which strategy costs the most out of pocket, which strategy is the most monthly payment. You're going to know it all as we go through this step by step. So the first question we're going to look at is, which strategy gets you out of debt fastest? The answer to that is the super pay down. Then we have a tie for second place with the conventional method, if you're doing it in 10 years, or the refinance method in 10 years, and public service loan forgiveness. Those 3 strategies all take 10 years to get out of debt. The last ones that take the longest are income-driven repayment, refinancing for 25 years, and conventional for 25 years. That's a good start. Okay, so who won that one? super pay down gets you out of debt fastest. So if that is your goal, I have to get out of debt as fast as I can, the super pay down method is going to be a good solution for you. But let's take a look at some other considerations and look at who has the most total out of pocket when you include interest, fees, and all of the stuff, when it all adds up. Who has the most out of pocket? Public service loan forgiveness is the cheapest at $167,000. Income-driven repayment with the help of a student loan specialist, that's a key thing because a lot of people don't know how to keep their payment low, and a student loan specialist will help you, is in second at $290,000. The super pay down, depending on how fast you do it, on this example, I did it in 4 to 7 years, is going to be between $330,000 and $359,000. The fourth place is refinancing to 4.96% in 10 years at $372,000. The fifth place is conventional at $390,000 for 10 years. Sixth place is refinancing to 4.92 for 25 at $511,000, and seventh is $566,000. So I want to stop right here just for a second. Remember, this person has $293,000 of student loan debt. The first two options, you're paying less than the actual loan balance in your student loan repayment process, just because of the nature of the programs. All of the other ones, you're paying more than $293,000 because of interest. Super pay down pays the least amount of interest, and conventional pays the most interest, and you're paying $566,000 to get out of debt. Another consideration to make is who has the lowest monthly payment. First place on this one is income-driven repayment with $300, and that $300 is not locked in, but for this example, that's what we went with. So $300. Public service loan forgiveness is going to be between $1,200 and $1,500 over the life of the 10 years. If you're refinancing at 25, it's going to be $1,700. Conventional is $1,800. Refinancing is $3,100. Conventional 10 years is $3,200, and super pay down is last when it comes to monthly payment. It's going to range between $4,200 and $6,800 every month to get out of debt in 4 to 7 years. So if you're looking for monthly payment solutions, income-driven repayment wins. Now, the last thing is we have to consider is, okay, how can I actually make this a very big win for me? How can I simultaneously get out of debt and create a nest egg or increase the size of my portfolio without changing the dollar amount, without adding extra dollars? So if I was going to pay it off conventionally, I was going to pay X amount of dollars per month. If I can take that same amount and put it towards a nest egg and growth, I haven't changed my cash flow situation. I was going to have those dollars leaving me no matter what, but now I'm, instead of them going to the servicer or to the paying off the government to pay off my loans, they're now going to me, where I can grow them and I can maximize their situation. So let's take a look at who wins in that scenario. First place is income-driven repayment, again, with the assistance of a student loan specialist. The assistance of the student loan specialist is a requirement. You need to have it if you're going to succeed. After 10 years, the income-driven repayment, you'll have an additional $593,000 in your nest egg on top of all the other investing and all the other things that you've created after 10 years. At the end of the 25-year horizon, when you reach 25 years in the future, with those same exact dollars, you'll have $1.8 million in a nest egg that would not have been there had you not paid off the loan with that strategy. In second place, you have the super pay down. So the super pay down, we did it in 7 years on this example. After 10 years, they have $165,000 because we took that payment that was going to it and started investing and growing it. And then at the end of the 25-year horizon, they have $1.3 million. An excellent win. The third is the conventional method. After 10 years, you have zero, but then you took that payment and started growing it. At the end of 25 years, you have $812,000. Fourth is the refinance, zero, and at the end of 25 years, you have $775,000. Fifth, you have is this public service loan forgiveness, and the reason that is because the monthly payment isn't that high, and that's why you didn't transition as much towards wealth, but it still has a substantial nest egg by the end of it. And then refinance and conventional for 25 years, you don't have the ability with those dollars to grow them for yourself, and so you missed out on the potential of what could have been income-driven repayment. You could have had $1.8 million, but instead you had zero. Or you could have had $1.3 million, but instead you had zero. There is no right or wrong answer. But to me, what I value flexibility. I value the ability to control my value. That's a lot of values. What I mean by that is, if I can pay myself something, if someone's going to give me permission to take an expense and let me control it and pay myself and get it growing for myself, I'm going to do it. In this case, the government has given you permission to take your student loan debt payment expense and pay yourself. You're still going to pay out of debt. You're still going to get out of debt in 25 years, but you got to grow it for yourself the entire time. I love the income-driven repayment plan because it enables me to get out of debt and build substantial wealth all at the same time. In addition to that, you have the flexibility to control that process the entire time. So if you have a rough month or a rough period, or you have an opportunity to buy another practice or to buy into a practice, you can use those dollars that you're setting aside, paying yourself for your student loan debt, to do something else. The flexibility of income-driven repayment is unmatched. We have reviewed today the 5 strategies for how to pay off student loans. We've looked at their pros and cons. We've talked about their structures, what they do. We've also looked at the numbers. We've also evaluated what's the fastest way out of debt, who has the total out of pocket, who has the best nest egg, who has the best monthly payment. Now you can make the decision for yourself, what's the best method for me? How can I best maximize this situation that I'm in? Large amounts of student loan debt, a very profitable career. How can I maximize that to take myself to the next level? In my opinion, and what the math says, income-driven repayment wins. If you would like to learn more about this, we have a webinar coming up on August 2nd, 2023. August 5th, 2023. You can sign up for it here by scanning this QR code. You can learn more information, get questions answered, and just have more information available to you. If you're watching this after August 2023, you can get on my calendar to schedule a free consultation on your situation by going to www.biglifefinancial.com/student loans. We will help you do exactly what we did here today. Evaluate which option is best for you. What does it look like with your numbers? What does it look like in your situation? And which one will win for your values and your life and your situation? I appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something. I hope the strategies benefited you. The key here now is not to take the knowledge and do nothing, but to take the knowledge and take action. Do something to better yourself. Do something to take advantage of these rules that the government has put in place to enable you to control your dollar. Until next time, I appreciate it. I'm Justin Maxwell, and I'll see you next time.